and the Bucks agreed to a contract extension on Friday, adding another year while clearing up cap space for the rest of the team. The new contract saved Tampa $19 million in 2021 to help bring back more of their own free agents. And Brady shared a photo of himself signing the contract on Twitter, saying, quote, "In pursuit of 8, we're keeping the band together." So, Shannon, I'll ask you first, how much credit should Brady get for restructuring to keep the team together?
Well, it's not the restructuring that's bringing the players back. It's the fact that they're winning. Winning is what's doing this. Let me ask you a question. If Brady restructures and they're 5-11, is everybody signing back up for that? Absolutely not. So it's the fact that they're winning. It's not that he restructured his deal. All they did was add voidable years. If Brady didn't want to take his $17, $18, $19 million in a signing bonus right now, and then instead of getting 25, Skip, as far as base salary, and take 18, 19 million of it in a signing bonus, and then play for $6 million in base salary, getting the same thing, who knows, he might have got a little bit more, added on to the voidable years, Skip. So now we get to spread that over. We created, what, $17, $18 million in cap space. They just would have found someone else to say, hey, you want some money right now? Instead of waiting until the season starts, we'll give you $12 million. We'll give you $14 million right now. Who's going to say, nah, man, I'm going to wait till y'all start cutting them checks for me in September? Of course not. Look, I'm not saying Brady shouldn't be commended, but that's not the reason they're keeping this thing together. Shaq Barrett made it abundantly clear. I'm looking to break the bank. Well, Skip, more players would stay if I won the Super Bowl and my team is going to give me the same amount of money that I'm going to get in free agency where I've been for the last 2 or 3 years, maybe even 5 years. My kids are enrolled in school. I've ingratiated myself to community. Yes, I'm staying. It's normally a situation, Skip, they don't have the money to pay a guy like Shaq Barrett who says, I'm going to break the bank. Shaq's like, you mean to tell me y'all going to give me 22, 23 million too? And I got a chance to win because Tom Brady's still coming back? Yeah, I'm going to take that. But it's not the fact that Brady restructured. It's what Brady does. It's Brady's winning. That's the tail, Skip. That's the allure that makes guys want to stay there. They're winning, not Brady restructuring this deal, because there are 5 or 6 other guys like, yeah, I'll take a signing bonus right now. That'd be real good, Tampa.
Okay, but timeout. This is a head scratcher for me.
Okay.
Because obviously I get what you're saying, but in the beginning, the reason that there's money to be passed around, to be divvied up, is starting off that the quarterback who arguably had the best year of any quarterback in pro football last year is going to count only $9 million against the cap. So I thought it was a bargain to get Dak at $22.2 million against the cap as he makes $75 million next year. Brady only counts $9 million against the cap. That ranks 173rd in the whole league to date, and that's about to change and it's about to drop.
Well, Skip, let's just say for the sake of argument, his base salary is going to be $26 million. They say, what we'll do, Tom, we'll give you 20 of that in the form of a signing bonus. We're going to add 2 more voidable years. So now it's a 3-year deal. So you got this year plus 3 years. So now what we did is that we took that $20 million, we're going to prorate that over the 3 years. That's $7 million, $7 million, $7 million. So now they're like, okay, we good.
Okay, but that contributes to winning because it helps them keep, as Brady said yesterday, the band together, right? If he won't do that, if he says... If
you just go to Mike Evans, you go to JPP.
Okay, but if he goes the Dak Prescott route and says, I deserve my money here. I deserve at least $40 million, my God. I mean, Tom Brady, think about this. Last year, Tom Brady was ranked by Pro Football Focus in the regular season second best to Aaron Rodgers. Okay. Second best. In the postseason, he was graded #1 overall. So first and second in the regular season. That would add up to, you could argue, if you brought in somebody who knew nothing about pro football or history or whatever, and you'd say, who deserves the most money? Well, they'd say, well, that guy does, that Brady guy. He deserves by far the most money. So he probably deserves $50 million. He is, to your point, taking 26 total million, but he doesn't even need it next year. It won't be paid until the following year. Okay? That allowed them to keep Levante David, right? He got a nice deal. And he deserved an even better deal. But he said no state income tax. And to your point, yeah, I get to play with Tom Brady and we get a chance to win it again. Well, that mattered. As Levante David said a couple of days back, he said, the bond that we had was like no other. Well, it was, and it started with that guy who came from New England and brought that Patriot way to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, well, Skip, that's what normally happens when you win, especially when you haven't won. Levante David had never been to the playoffs since he's been in Tampa, and he's played really well, some really good football. Now now you get an opportunity to see just how good a football player that he is, Skip, because he's on a Super Bowl winning team. He's going to be on TV even more. You and I know we follow football. We watch football. We watched him. We knew Levante David was a good player. I knew Devin White was a good player after I watched him at LSU. He's a hell of a player.
I didn't know he was that good.
I thought he should have went to the Pro Bowl. I was like, hold on.
Definitely.
How did a guy do what he did and not make the Pro Bowl? Maybe it was a year, maybe they make you wear the year, Skip. But let's be real now. Let's not pretend like Coach Belichick didn't surround Brady with talent. It might not have been flashy names, but Coach Belichick went to 9 Super Bowls as a head coach, but he was also the GM.
Okay.
So Tom Brady we're not going to give Coach Belichick no credit?
No, I'll give him credit, but I don't think Brady gets nearly enough credit for always taking way below market value from day one in New England.
Well, he was a 6th-round pick, Skip.
Okay?
I mean, he got...
No, after he won a Super Bowl, and now they're going to redo.
They redid it.
Okay?
But, Skip, he still had years. He had like 2 years still left on the contract.
Okay, but there's that recent Scott Pioli story.
Yeah.
And he was then, I guess, call him the GM of the Patriots.
Right.
And he's negotiating with Don Yee, Brady's agent, for that first big restructure that they did. Or it's just a redo.
Right.
He won the Super Bowl. And he said that Brady intervened and said, enough is enough. I don't need any more money. I'm sorry. And he undercut his agent's position and said, no, I'll just take that. That's enough. Okay, well, who does that?
Right. Okay, I'm going to Skip. I'm going to give him credit for that. That's his, but I don't believe because someone else did X, all the other players should be forced to do Y. And that's what happened in New England. Because Brady was willing to take less, everybody else was forced to take less, or you couldn't be there. So a lot of guys left, and so because what did Darrell Reeves said? He's like, when he tried to negotiate his deal, he said, well, Tom only makes this. We can't pay you more than Tom.
And Ninkovich said that also. He said, well, they just kept saying, well, look at the quarterback.
Exactly. Tom makes this, Tom makes this. But he also suppressed the market around the league. Because if Tom would have got market value, Skip, the quarterback market might be $55 million right now. Because, if he gets his fair market value.
I agree. So, again, for him, after winning a Super Bowl at $25 million, to say, okay, for the next year, I'll take $26 total million in my restructure, but I don't need that money until 22.
Right.
Now, they're going to have to pay the piper a little bit down the line.
Skip, what they're doing is they're kicking the can down the road.
Yep.
That's all. And a lot of teams, and Tampa say, you know what, we're willing to be in salary cap hell in 2023, 2024 if we get 1 or 2 more to get another Super Bowl. So if we get 2 Super Bowls, Skip, and we got to spend 2 years in salary cap hell, it's worth it.
Okay.
Because all it is, you just kick the can down the road. It's like that balloon payment on the interest-only loan.
But you're going back to the old cliche about which comes first, the chicken or the egg. And you're saying the egg comes first because winning is making the chicken look better. Not that I'm comparing Tom Brady to a chicken. It would be the last animal I would want to compare him to.
Right.
But the point is, it's the oldest cliche. Well, the chicken comes first to me because he's the one saying, no, I'll take less. And then you can have the eggs that get made because we have a better chance to make better eggs.
Well, I mean, didn't the chicken come from the egg?
Well, that's why that's almost mind-boggling to try to debate that question.
The chicken came from the egg, so
well,
happened.
But the chicken had to be created. I'll go all the way to God had to create the chicken first, right?
Well, maybe he said, okay, here's the egg, here's the chicken. Chicken, you sit on the egg. We go from there. But Skip, I will say this, is that at this juncture, and I guess since Brady won the 3rd Super Bowl, he understood that money was not how he was going to be judged. That winning was the only thing that's going to be his determinant. Because once you get to that level, Skip, regular season and touchdowns and this and that doesn't matter. Because Brady's if he doesn't win the Super Bowl, he had a bad year. That's what happens when you become that great, Skip. That's like Jordan. You don't win the championship, you Magic and Bird and LeBron. You don't win the championship, you had a bad year. I don't care what else you done. He was the MVP. Yeah, he had this many triple doubles. Yeah, he threw for 5,000. What did he win? Because that's what that's the bar that Tom Brady has cleared.
Yeah. Well, at 43, he just won his 7th Super Bowl with a brand new team and coaching staff. in a pandemic year.
He's gone to as many Super Bowls after the age of 37 than any player in NFL history. He's gone to 5 since the age of 37.
And his MO has been always pay me less.
I mean, you can pay me less too if I'm, making $100 million.
But he's not making $100 million. You can argue his wife does, but that's a whole nother issue.
But he doing good. He doing good.
But LeBron,
but that's where he is
we
now,
always
Skip.
go back and forth about LeBron. He makes God knows
He
how
don't
much
make that
money
much.
off the court.
He don't make that much.
Well, he does make that much. And Spring Hill is just dominating Hollywood.
And Savannah says she need a new house, so he got to make that much.
That's fine. I got it. But he always insists on pay me the max. And I'm sure the Players Association says, way to go, LeBron.
Skip, we trying to buy a team. We can't buy a team taking minimum salary. We trying to get a team. It's going to cost us, by the time we turn around, it's going to cost us about $2.5 billion.
Okay. By the time you buy a team, Tom Brady might have won his 12th Super Bowl.
Well, he ain't gonna be no owner. We're gonna have 6 rings and gonna be an owner of a team.
6 rings?
And be the owner of a team. Rings, teams.
Unless Kyle Kuzma wins you.
Don't do that, Skip. Don't do that.
Oh,
don't do
you're
that.
Kuzma
Don't do that.
right now after one performance? Okay, different quarterbacks to discuss. Dak Prescott, is he better than Russell Wilson? We'll discuss next.